Tonight, the stars and the cars of the DRTV Premier Cup Series try to tame the Lady in Black, the Darlington Raceway. So grab your favorite beverage, something to snack on, and strap yourself in because you're in for the ride of your life. Next on DRTV.
And we welcome you to DRL Network live coverage of a DRTV Premier Cup Series. Tonight, live from our Darlington Raceway. The track too tough to tame, the 1.366-mile egg-shaped oval in South Carolina. That sets the stage tonight. DRTV Throwback Night, 150 miles at Darlington. Welcome aboard, everybody out there in YouTube land for watching us tonight. I believe you've got the chat box out there tonight. You're out there watching. Feel free to engage with us. We'll be monitoring that all night long. My name is Phil Lacasse, along with my broadcast partners, Too Tall Todd Stanton, Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, as always in the DRTV control booth. And Todd, what can you say? The retro feel here tonight at the DRTV, the Darlington Raceway. A lot of great-looking throwback schemes out there tonight, and we're going to be for one whale of a show.
Yeah, definitely a lot of retro throwback paint schemes out there on the Speedway. I could not wait for this event. Darlington Raceway, the Lady in Black. They say it's too tough to tame, Phil, and I'm going to have to agree with them here tonight. I've been out there on the Speedway running a few laps there, and it looks like hitting the wall. I hit the wall quite a few times, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers are going to go around the track and see how tires are going to come into play here at the Lady in Black.
Well, tire is always the name of the game here. Anytime you come to Darlington, and of course here tonight, you got to keep your car clean. It's a long race, 150 miles, 111 laps around this Darlington Raceway. Before we get this thing under the green flag, as always, let's head it down to the booth to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton. Rich, I know we're a little behind the eight ball tonight, a little bit late, but I think we're on the air, ready to go, and I think we're going to be for a great show here. We got a great field of cars on hand.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It took a lot to get this together today. A lot of scrambling going on and rush, but we finally got here. And I couldn't agree with you more. Sorry about that. About choked on a piece of meat. I'm eating, as usual. But good group of guys out here, as always. Every time we come out here to the Premier Cup Series, I'm looking forward to it. And Darlington is going to be interesting. It's very tight corners. I know I like this track, but it's tough to pass here. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Well, it's going to be about as interesting as it goes, just kind of as it was, during our intro there. Just a hats off to my buddy, Too Tall Todd Stanton, out there on the racetrack during that intro, Todd. That certainly took a whole lot of talent. Let's do something else that takes a whole lot of talent to do here, Todd. We're about to put this thing, the DRTV Throwback 150, under the green flag, so let's just dive straight into the starting lineup.
And now your starting lineup for the DRTV Throwback 150 here from the Darlington Raceway. Starting on the pole, driving the number 2, that's Tom Salvain, and his dancing partner to the outside. Driving the number 48, that's Alex Davis.
Roll number 2 tonight, we find the defending series champion and tonight's point leader coming into race number 23. Aboard the car number 31, that's Derek Justice, and to his outside, aboard the number 92, our good buddy, the high side hustler, Martin Karch.
Starting that fifth starting position inside row number 3 is that number 72. He was last year's Rookie of the Year. That's Isaac Johnson and his dancing partners outside. Driving the number 18, always a threat to win. That's Robert Balcom.
Rolling off tonight from position number 7, we welcome back to the Premier Cup Series the number 86. That, of course, is Jim Black. And to his outside in the number 15, a feature winner earlier this year, that's Matt Watkins.
Starting inside row number 5 in that 9th starting position. Who's he going to punish tonight? Driving the number 88, that's Craig Meyer. And his dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 121. A winner here in the DRTV Premier Cup Series, that's Steve Looney.
As a command to fire engines has been given. Rowing off tonight from position number 11, a rare start in the Premier Cup Series for aboard the number 70. That's our buddy J-Rock from Safer Barrier Project, Jason Skaraki. And to his outside aboard car number 8 in the 12th position tonight, that'll be Jeremy Jeffries.
Almost a week ago, he finally got his first online racing win. Driving the number 44, that's Jay Schaefer. And outside of him, driving the number 28, that's Jerry Walters.
Rolling off tonight from position number 15, the 028 of Monty Keller. And to his outside, the number 98, that is Bill Martino.
Driving the number 103, starting in that 17th starting position, that is Carson Krins. And outside of him, driving the number 59, that's Ryan Johnson.
The 108 will roll off tonight from 19th. That, of course, the dog, John Palmer. And to his outside in the number 43, that's the Bobby Farrell.
Starting 21st on the field, driving the 512, that's Danny Johnston. And outside him, driving the 109, that's Ken Hansen. 23rd starter tonight will be aboard the number 24. That is Matthew Wisniewski. And to his outside, aboard the number 22,
That is Gary Piccolo.
And starting shotgun on the field, driving the number 21, we welcome back to the DRTV Premier Cup Series. That's the number 21 of Kelly Horner.
That's your full field starting lineup. I believe that's 25 drivers strong tonight to take the green flag. 23rd race of the Premier Cup Series season about to get underway. The DRTV Pace Fan Todd, it's pulled its way off the banking here at the Darlington Raceway. Off of turn number 4, the star has got green flag in hand, and we're waiting to put this DRTV throwback 150 under the green flag.
The green flag is in the air. The DRTV Premier Series Throwback Series race here. The 150 here from the Darlington Raceway is under green flag conditions. Once again, charging down into corner number 1 and off of corner number 2. That's the number 2. That's the Miller General and Draft sponsored machine. That's Tom Salvain. He's out in the lead with the number 31, the Baskin Robbins number 31. That's Derek Justice. He's running in that second spot. Looks like the high side hustler of Martin Karch, normally riding in a blue oval, one of those Fords. He's in a Dodge tonight in that number 21. That's the high side hustler in that number 92 machine, Mopar sponsored machine. That is Martin Karch. He's running in that third spot, Phil. That's an interesting paint scheme for Martin.
Yeah, it certainly is. Usually see him parading blue ovals out there. For tonight, well, he's thrown out a Dodge, and it looks great on him. So far up to the third spot here as they put the opening lap up on the board. It is Tom Sylvain, the number 2, that Miller Genuine Draft Ford, pacing the field off of turn number 2. DJ Derek Justice right there in his tire tracks. Martin Karch third. A great battle on the speedway. Todd looks around for that fourth spot. We find the low Chevrolet of Alex Davis. He has a mirror full of the 72 of Isaac Johnson. They're nose to tail, but it's a great battle off of turn 2.
Yeah, Isaac Johnson running in that fifth spot. In that number 72, as you see Kelly Horner having some ignition issues on the start of the race. He's a lap down. He's just able to get it fired up and back out onto the speedway. Hopefully be a recipient of one of those key lucky dogs here if we get a yellow flag. And yellow flag is going to definitely fly on the field for the first time here this evening. Not sure where or who it was there, Phil, on the track.
Not looking around on the speedway, seeing a couple of cars rolling slow off the grid. Also I'm seeing the Jay Schaefer machine, that throwback Hot Wheels Ford, number 44. He's pointed in the wrong direction, Todd, and that's going to be responsible, looks like, for the first yellow flag of the night. Not sure if there was contact happening there on the speedway. We'll give Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton here, just a couple of seconds here. He'll be ready with the replay here. Just a couple of minutes. We'll let him get that all queued up, but contact on the racetrack, Todd, 3 laps in, and you know, it's a Darlington Raceway. I mean, what more can you expect from this place? You know, it's a narrow racetrack. It's certainly hard to pass. And when you get 25 guys like we have out here tonight, these guys can take a couple of laps to get their stuff underneath them. And looks like maybe for Jay Schaefer chase, we'll have to see on the replay, but looks like it just may have got up underneath them.
Yeah, it's Lydian Black. They say it's too tough to tame here, the Darlington Raceway. It's one of those things, Phil. It's going to jump out and bite you here every now and then. And unfortunately, Jay Schaefer on the receiving end of that, and Jay Schaefer picking up his first ever online racing win here last Sunday, Phil, at the Darlington Raceway. A matter of fact, here at the one of the big series is that we run over at TDR, so it was interesting to see Jay Schaefer finally get his first online racing win, but it's a tough break. Darlington, one of those things, you may win one night, and the next night you may not even finish.
Well, it's certainly one of those places that can reach up and bite you, and let's see what happened to our friend Jay there aboard the number 44. So, Rich, for the first time tonight, let's throw down to you for a DRTV replay.
Yeah, definitely, guys. The Jay Schaefer is the one we're talking about, the 44. As you can see him in the nice Hot Wheels paint scheme right there. We're going to go ahead and let this run out. It is just a solo spin. We'll go ahead and play at full speed. The rear end just comes out from under him right there. We're going to slow it down. It comes around. There's nothing he can do. Look at that. When he's completely sideways, he is blocking the entire track at that moment. This is a very narrow track, guys. But good thing was everybody's paying attention. He keeps it up by the wall. Great driving by Jay to keep it up there by the wall. Let all these other guys get by him before he comes back down. If he would have came down that track, there's a line of cars coming down below him. It could have been a catastrophe. So great job for Jay and great job for all those other drivers out there. It looks like he tagged the wall just a little bit. Probably not too much damage. But should be okay, and we'll see how this plays out once he gets this thing turned around back through the pits and maybe bang some dents out and change some flat-spotted tires out or something, guys. Back up to you.
All right, well, there's Rich Patton with the DRTV replay. Looks like a little bit of damage there left for the 44 machine. We'll see how it plays out for him over the course of this evening. 111 laps, the main event here tonight for the Premier Cup Series, handled out of the TDR Racing Stables. Find the TDR Racing gang over at tdr-racing.net. Premier Cup Series, race number 23 of the 36 that make up the schedule. It's been a great season so far, Todd. And, of course, to highlight this series here in a few weeks, the start of the Path to Premier Scramble. Race 30 will be the cutoff point there. We'll start a 6-race scramble-type event to narrow the championship down here in November. It's going to make for a lot of great racing here, Todd, and we're going to have a lot of coverage of that here on DRTV over the next couple of months.
Yeah, a ton of coverage over the next couple of months there, Phil, for that DRTV Premier Cup Scramble. That's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. A lot of these guys trying to buy for that first win there to get themselves inside of that top 20, maybe even to get a win there, Phil. And some of these guys are still struggling to get inside the top 20 and trying to track down some of the 3 top non-winners. One of them being Martin Karch out there. He's trying to get a win. You know, it's got to be pretty nerve-wracking not to have a win on the season. You have to try to get in on points, Phil. And that's one of the things that's got to be going through Martin Karch's mind is that he gets that win, then he has no worries. He can gamble a little bit more. A lot of these drivers can gamble. You see Derek Justice, he has a ton of wins on the season. Alex Davis, a lot of those guys can gamble now, Phil, because they're already in to that scramble.
Yeah, a lot of those guys in the top 20 with wins. As you said, I think unofficially I've counted 12 drivers tonight that are currently locked into the scramble, maybe as high as 13. I have to go back and recount, but looking at the list of names here that have not won in this series here in 2016, which is just an impressive name amongst itself. Ryan Johnson, Ken Hansen, Martin Karch, as you said, the dog John Palmer, Gary Piccolo, Carson Krenz, all those guys not yet race winners in 2016. They'll have about 6 more races, including tonight, to get that job done here. But Todd, it looks like we're just about ready to go back under green flag conditions. The new race leader, the 92 Martin Karch, it looks like he's rolled the dice here. Maybe a little bit of strategy, Todd, to take the race lead. And you look up there to the top of the leaderboard, you also find the 86 of Jim Black. He's played the strategy game. He's going to restart in that second spot. Now, we talk about Darlington here. We've been here many times, and we look at Bill Martino. He's up in the 3rd spot. A couple of guys there. Also, Ryan Johnson, the 59. That's going to be your top 4 here on the restart. All those guys rolling the dice, Todd, maybe not taking those fresh tires. And we know at Darlington, a place like this, it seems to eat up tires here. What do you think of the strategy for these 4 guys in the top 4?
I don't think it's a bad strategy play on their part there, Phil. It's early on in the going. There's only 6 laps in. They've really not heated up their tires. I mean, they haven't gone through a bunch of different heat cycles on their tires right now. I think it's a good play to get that valuable track position around Darlington Raceway. It's not easy to pass here.
Certainly not easy to pass. We'll have to see what the guys with the fast cars, like we've seen our pole sitter, Tom Sylvain. We know Derek Justice has been fast. Alex Davis, Isaac Johnson, those guys starting 5th position back on the restart. We'll have to see how these guys all stack up here when they get back under the green flag. The 21 of Kelly Horner is the lucky dog. He is currently in that 25th position. Not sure if we see the 26 car roll onto the speedway. Almost looked like the number 91 of Todd Stanton almost made his way onto the speedway. Not exactly sure what that Todd Stanton machine is doing, but Todd, we're getting ready for a restart.
Yeah, definitely getting ready for a restart. DRTV pace van pulls off and makes that hard left-hand turn down to pit road. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing with the high side hustler. Martin Karch going to be able to lead them down. Jim Black, Bill Martino, Ryan Johnson, Derek Justice, Tom Sylvain, Alex Davis, Isaac Johnson, Matt Watkins, and Robert Balcom. That is your top 10. Green flags in the air. Loud pedal down, going down into corner number 1. Looks like Ryan Johnson going to be the first one to jump out of line and try to make up some position here on the 98 of Bill Martino. Here comes the 31 of Derek Justice way up top in that Baskin-Robbins sponsor machine.
Yeah, he's straddling the outside wall off of turn number 2. He'll make the whole shot move up to position number 4 and down the back straightaway. He's got Bill Martino out his windshield. Now Derek will slide into turn number 3. He'll choose the low lane off the corner. He's making up a tremendous amount of speed there. The 98 car getting loose. Martino to the low side. That's going to allow the 31 side by side now in the top lane for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, move the 31 of Derek Justice to P3, but not so fast as the number 98 machine of Bill Martino battles back down on the bottom side after getting loose. He's going to go back up to P3, put Justice back to P4.
Yeah, it's a great race from the 3rd spot there. Derek, they go into turn number 3. He gets a little bit loose. He allows Martino to slide up the hill. Bill almost slid up into the outside wall. I don't know if he got a Darlington stripe or not, but now they're going to be wheel to wheel, door to door, almost side by side. A dead heat there to turn 3. A 31 car loose on as they hit the corner.
Yeah, Justice made contact, I believe, through that corner with the 98 machine of Bill Martino. Just a little bit of contact. Those guys keeping keeping it straight on the speedway. I know the sigh of relief for the number 2 of Sylvain and the 48 of Alex Davis. I thought those two were going to go around in front of those two guys, and they're able to hold it there as Bill Martino bounces it off the outside wall. Here comes Derek Justice back down to the bottom side here to take over position number 3 in that number 31 machine. Now Bill Martino falls back into the clutches of the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. Sylvain having a good run here early on in the going in position number 5.
Yeah, he was the fastest car in practice. He put it on the pole tonight, and now running in that 5th position, as you said, trying to do something with Bill Martino. The 98 car loose to turn number 1 and 2. He's into the outside wall, and that's going to bring yellow flag on the speedway.
Yeah, the lady in black claims another one in form of the number 98 of Bill Martino. Tough break for Bill, and I believe Alex Davis might have even got a piece of that action there, Phil. Maybe he had to slow up. He might have just a tad bit of damage, but that's a good break for the number 21 of Kelly Horner. Horner 1 lap down in the rears with an ignition problem there. He got a lucky dog the last time. That's going to put him back on the lead lap in the number 21 machine.
Yeah, it certainly does. That's a big break for him, as you said. Kelly won our first race of the season way back in February, the DRTV 300 at the Daytona International Speedway, and he thought right then and there maybe he was going to be safe in the early part of the season to race his way into that Path Premier Scramble. Kelly coming in tonight now, Todd, 21st in the point standings. He's been out on all over this dirt tracks up in the North Dakota region. He hasn't been able to race a lot in the Premier Cup Series here on a Saturday night. So now he's 1 spot out of the scramble, Todd. He's going to be in the top 20 with a race win. He's got the race win under his belt, but can he race his way back into the top 20? We'll update that progress here later on. We'll see what happened now to our friend Bill Martino, Rich, who I believe had brought out yellow flag number 2 this evening.
Yeah, definitely that 98 black and red car. Bill Martino going to come in here, gets a little bit loose. We'll go ahead and play this through full speed. Once he gets sideways, you can see him coming around right there. We'll slow it down. Bill gets it sideways, blocking everybody on the road. Everybody's trying to check up. It looks like Alex gets him a little bit in the door. Everybody else gets down low. Bill, once again, same black tire marks that we had earlier. And Bill Martino parks it just about the same exact spot as the last caution. So that corner is going to be the one to watch tonight, guys. Almost deja vu for another driver down there. Back up to you.
All right, Rich. Yeah, that was certainly interesting times there for the 31 of Derek Justice, the 48 of Alex Davis. Those guys, making contact there with the Bill Martino machine as they go around. So that's going to put us under yellow flag for the second time tonight. Early on in the going here, 13 laps of 100 on the board. This is the Premier Cup Series, race number 23 of the 36 that make up the Premier Cup Series schedule here in 2016. As we look down the docket, Todd, a guy we haven't seen enough here in the Premier Cup Series, currently out there in the number 86, running in the second spot. That's our friend Jim Black. Jim, it's Phil from DRTV, buddy. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Jim having a great run out of it here in the early goings, up there in the second spot. Used a little bit of no pitting strategy there to find your way through some track position, huh? How's the racetrack out there through these first dozen laps?
Oh, the track's good, the setup's good, cars are working good. Just following Martin, and I know Derek's right behind me, so I'm not going to hold them up. They're running for points. I'm just here for the fun of it, but yeah, Phil, it's a good track, so everything's good tonight.
Well, Jim, it's always great to have you aboard here in the Premier Cup Series. Yeah, as you said, these guys out here running for points, and you not so much. You haven't been here enough, but you still have a chance here with a couple of good runs and maybe a win to maybe even put yourself championship eligible, maybe in this scramble in a couple of weeks. But Jim, it's so great to have a guy like you out here in the Premier Cup Series. Tell us just how impressive you think this roster is in 2016. We see a lot of heavy hitters here week after week that come in and race in the series.
A lot of good drivers, good friends, good drivers, and I mean, I've been following. I haven't been running them all, but I've followed it, and I've seen when you told me how the races have been going. So, yeah, it looks good for 2016. Look forward to 2017 too.
And Jim, we can't talk about the rest of 2016 till we talk about our next broadcast event here coming up in just a couple of weeks. The Brian Neidig 150 from, I believe it's a California Speedway. I know you got a lot of background on that. It's being run out of the Extreme Motorsports Clan this year. I know we had the Brian Neidig Memorial Race last year, something very near and dear to your heart, and we're going to have it on the airwaves here in a couple of weeks, and I know you're looking really forward to that.
Oh yeah, and the family is too. I've talked to them. I said we're going to have the 7th annual, then we'll probably wait till 10 years. But Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Brian would be happy the way the online racing world is now, and you just can't say anything more than that. I know he's up there smiling, watching us all, and that's all I can say right now. But yeah, we're gonna have a good show. It looks like right now 29 drivers, and it's growing. So we'll see when that time comes what we have.
Well, Jim, we're certainly looking forward to that. I believe we got the broadcast date of August the 25th on a Thursday night. We'll certainly see you there and all the guys over at Extreme as well for the first time. And Jim, once again, thanks for a couple of words with us. It's great to see you out here on a Saturday night, and good luck the rest of the night. It's a good field and a tricky racetrack, so keep that 86 Stink machine clean.
We'll try. Thanks a lot, Phil. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it.
All right, that's our buddy Jim Black out there, and the number 86, Todd. Jim, you know, he's been around this community for a long time. One of the great guys out there. Always good to catch up with him. And he's got that Brian Knighting race that's very near and dear to him, to his heart. We're going to see here in about 2 weeks. And I can't wait to get to that event, because looking at the driver roster starting to sprinkle in, I think that's going to make for a great race as well here on the air in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race up and coming here in about 2 weeks, like you said, Phil. But meanwhile, we got a good race right now, meanwhile, in front of us here at the Darlington Raceway, and it's going to shape up here. I'm going to tell you lap 15 right now, 111, as we're getting ready to come up and complete lap 16. Pace lights are out atop that DRTV pace van. In the 92 of Martin Karch leads him down here momentarily. Jim Black, Derek Justice, Robert Balcom, Jason Skaraki having a good run. He's inside the top 5 right now in that number 70 machine. 6 is Tom Salvain, Matt Watkins, Isaac Johnson, Alex Davis, and Craig Meyer. That completes your top 10. DRTV pace van pulls off. Left-hand turn down the pit road, getting ready to go back to green flag racing action here. Drivers getting ready to put that loud pedal down. They've been waiting here. Lengthy yellow flag here at the Darlington Raceway here for a little bit of track cleanup. His green flag is now in the air. Martin Karch, the high side hustler, leads him down into corner number 1 with Jim Black there in second. Who's going to be the first to jump on the line? It is the 31 of Derek Justice. Justice on rails on the top side, rim riding all the way around the speedway, and that number 31 machine put him to P2. Yeah,
put the 31 up to P2, and now he'll see what he can do on those fresher tires. Can he chase down our race leader, Martin Karch, as they hit turn number 3? He'll ride all up to the outside wall. Martin running that inside lane, looking back through the field here, racing for that third position on back. The 86 of Jim Black looks like he's got stuck under the outside wall. That's going to allow Tom Sylvain, Jason Skaraki, Matt Watkins aboard, others going through past that. As now a big incident, Todd. Yellow flag on the speedway.
Yeah, Meyer was down into the inside wall there with that little entourage there. I'm not sure what happened after that, Phil, because I was watching him. Looks like Jim Black might be out, and looks like the black cloud has struck Jim Black, and that's never a good thing here on DRTV, and that's unfortunate for the driver at number 86. He was out there having fun. Only going to be able to complete 17 laps here tonight, Phil.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like for Jim, that thing is going to be all tore up, and looks like his night's going to be over. And I feel bad, Todd. You know, Jim said one of the greatest guys to talk to out there. He's always been in this community for all the right reasons, and it's just such a tough break to see. And I feel like, Todd, that black cloud, as you say, I believe it's following us, because it seems to be everybody that we interview in the middle of one of these races. Seems to be something happened to him on the next yellow, and, you know, unfortunately for Jim, his car all tore up.
Oh, I think the black flag... the black flag actually does follow all of us around, but the black cloud there in DRTV, it does follow us around, Phil. Even when we're on the racetrack too, I've put together some awful runs over the last 3-4 weeks, and I know you have too. We haven't been able to finish a darn race here in quite some time. I think I finished one race out of the last maybe 17 handful of races that I've raced in online, and it's just unfortunate to see some of these guys and the black cloud striking Jim Black this early on in the going. Bill Martino now also out of this event, damaged too severe aboard that number 98 machine. So Bill Martino and Jim Black both out accidents here at the Darlington Raceway, and now we only have 23 cars left out there running, Phil.
23 cars of 25, as you said, left on the speedway, but caution flag number 3 of the night, working now lap number 19. And Rich, issues with the 86 of Jim Black that caused a multiple car catastrophe. Show us what happened.
Okay, here we go. We're going to keep our eyes on the 86 of Jim Black. Tough night for him. Tough night for Bill Martino earlier. In just about a second, you're going to see why. Both of these guys did some tangoing out there on the track, and it didn't end well for either one of them. We'll play this out at full speed for just a second. Once it slows down, he's in the wall. Once he gets in the wall, we're going to go ahead and play this through full speed because that wall sucked him in. The downside is he's stuck on the wall. He's slowing down drastically. The good stuff is everybody else is getting around him. And then all of a sudden, here it comes. Some cars making drastic changes. You can see the 24 dodges and barely misses him. And next thing you know, Bill Martino doesn't see that he's there, and the 98 just clips right into the back of him. Both Jim Black and Bill Martino both completely destroyed. You can see Martino is way up in the air doing some kind of happy dance. Unbelievable moves going on here. We'll move the camera towards him. He actually lands it back on all fours. Spectacular landing. Also, we're going to drop back here a little bit more because we knew we saw someone else involved also. Carson Krenz looks like he's facing the wrong direction as well, going backwards. So 3 cars involved in that one, guys. 2 of them are confirmed out of the race already. That's going to be Martino and Black. What's the status on Krenz, guys? Back up to you.
Seeing Krenz on pit road with heavy damage there aboard the 103. But, Rich, I have to ask you, did we just discover just off the cuff a new Richism doing some kind of happy dance?
Could have been. I just started rambling. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Oh, look, Bob Tompkins Sr., just a shout out to the chat box. He's saying, go, van, go. Everybody out there knows the DRTV van. We keep a lot of pride in that van, and she's definitely getting some TV time tonight, guys.
All right, so the van out there pacing the field. Rich is down there in Happy Land doing a happy dance. Rich, what's on the plate for dinner tonight? I know you can't start one of these broadcasts and not have a plate of food in front of you.
I think it's called beef stew, but it's got some big chunks of beef in it and some onions and some carrots and some sliced up potatoes, and it's like really good.
Todd, I'm not sure how to follow that.
My wife's a good cook.
I'm not sure either. You know what I had for dinner? Three ham sandwiches, and that wasn't really that great. But needless to say, nothing cooked here in the household tonight, and I had to make my own tonight, Phil. That's unusual.
Well, unfortunately for Todd Stanton there, the hand-on-hand sandwich tonight for Todd Stanton. But Rich, I believe you have a chat box update, so I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to James Catanese. He's watching us here on YouTube Live tonight.
And we welcome you back to the Darlington Raceway, DRTV Throwback 150. We'll apologize to everybody out there in YouTube land. A little bit of connection issues here, power outages and all that stuff going on. Knocked out all our feed to the DRTV control booth, but I believe we got Rich Patton all back down there, all sorted up ready to go, and we'll give you the best looks we can here the rest of the night here at the Darlington Raceway. Currently working lap number 39. They're going to put 40 on the board next time by, so let's see if we can't do a quick full field rundown here as we get things all settled back out. It is the 15 car of Matt Watkins. He is your current race leader. Jeremy Jeffries, Martin Karch, Tom Sylvain, Kelly Horner now with a great run up to the top 5. 6 through 10, we find Alex Davis, Isaac Johnson, Derek Justice, Jerry Walters, the Punisher, Craig Meyer. He's currently 10th. 11th is Gary Piccolo. Steve Looney is 12th. Robert Bauckham 13th. Jay Schaefer is 14th. Ryan Johnson currently in the 15th position. 16th is John Palmer. 17th, Monty Keller. Jason Skaraki is 18th. Ken Hansen 19th. Matthew Lesniewski, he rounds out your top 20. 21st, Bobby Farrell. 22nd is Carson Krenz. Danny Johnston is 23rd. Those are the 23 cars left on the racetrack. 2 drivers have had to pull it behind the wall due to heavy damage tonight. That being the 86 of Jim Black and the 98 of Bill Martino. That is your 25-car full field rundown here. Now working lap number 41 from a Darlington Raceway. And Rich Patton, I believe you had a little bit of weather delay down there in Florida. We lost all the feed, but I believe you got everything all back up and running now. And so hats off to you, man. I know that was a big scramble.
Yeah, most definitely. Had a complete power outage for a moment. Took everything down. We got everything back up. The only issue I can run across right now is I'm trying to scramble to find a way to get the race fans live lap counting. And it looks like my flag status is going to be off also. Ticker seems to be in line. And everything seems to be running smooth once again, other than those couple of issues.
Well, hats off to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, a failure in the control booth, but I believe everything, for the most part, is all back up to running here. He's trying to work out the last little bells and whistles here as far as the ticker goes, but the racing now off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway here to Darlington Raceway. The 15 of Matt Watkins with the race lead. Jeremy Jeffries, number 8, in the 2nd spot, and a great run from Martin Karch tonight. He's in that 3rd spot, Todd Stan. Not sure if you back us or not, but Martin having a great run. He is all over Jeremy Jeffries. They may make a pass to make that side-by-side for 2nd here as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, indeed, I am back with it and on track here now. Finally, Phil, just making sure everybody out there in Facebook, make sure the links are posted out there. Make sure that everybody knows we're back up and live here with DRTV. Martin Karch now making a pass there. It looks like for that 2nd position there. He's going to go to P2 in that number 92 machine. Tom Salvain going to follow him through P3 and drop kick Jeremy Jeffries back to that 4th position in that number 8 machine. Like we were saying, Phil, it's going to be a whole different look when we were coming back on air. We were able to continue watching this race, and a lot of shakeup amongst the top 10, even 15.
Yeah, it's been a big shakeup there. You know, we see Matt Watkins, he's come forward. Martin Karch has been able to maintain. Tom Sylvain, he's charged his way back up through. Who we have not seen charged back into the top 5 yet is the 31 of Derek Justice. He was scored 7th position last time by. While we were away in our downtime, we did miss 1 more yellow flag, so we've had 4 tonight. Issues with the 24 of Matthew Lesniewski. He got loose. It collected guys like Carson Krenz and multiple other cars involved. There's some damaged vehicles out there around the Darlington Raceway, but so far here, clean and green here. Lap number 46, the field in turn number 3. Matt Watkins with the race lead, but he's got a hungry 92 machine. That nice-looking new, freshly painted Mopar. Martin is on the move, Todd. He may look for the race lead here in turn 1.
Yeah, definitely giving that Mopar a run for its money tonight in that number 92 machine. He's all over the rear bumper of the 15 of Matt Watkins. The 28 moves up the hill there. That's the number 28 machine. I'm not sure quite who that was there, Phil. Maybe Monte Keller aboard the 28 machine there up against the wall, making sure they're staying out of the way of the lead lap cars here. A lot of these guys trying to race their way to some of these points, different positions. And now Matt Watkins, it looks like, letting Martin Karch go by in that number 92 machine. Karch on a rail. The number 2 of Tom Salvain now moves to 2nd. Matt Watkins to 3rd. Maybe Watkins trying to save a little bit of tire aboard that number 15 machine.
Yeah, I'm not sure if what that strategy was. He may have just pulled over and let him go. I'm not sure if he maybe got a little bit loose there off of turn number 4. But nonetheless, he allowed Martin Karch the 92. He's going to reclaim the race lead. But Tom Sylvain, that number 2, he was our pole sitter, the fastest car in practice. These 2 guys in the top 2, those guys paced practice. They were lightning fast here about an hour ago when these guys were out here making their first laps all night. Tom Sylvain, that pole sitter, Todd, that flying deuce, he's on the move. He's looking at the low side. We may have a race for the race lead when they get back toward turn 1.
Yeah, Tom Sylvain, he is all over the rear bumper, almost in the bumper of the number 92 of Martin Karch. Karch pulling away here just a little bit. Car length and a half there through the corner, but Tom Sylvain just pulls right back up to his rear bumper. I believe going down here on the front straightaway into turn number 1. Sylvain still all over the rear bumper. Battle for that top spot as Matt Watkins back there sitting there about 15 to 20 car lengths behind this lead duo here, just battling it out for the lead. Matt Watkins already has a couple wins here on the season, so he don't really need a win here. He just needs to make sure he stays inside the top 20. These guys, getting ready to duke it out here. Karch needs a win here, even though he is on points right now. That could change in an instant there, Phil. Oh, no. I'm going to throw it to you, Phil. I know you have that scramble right there in front of you, and that's your baby, and that's the thing you like to talk about, and there's a lot to that scramble.
Oh, it certainly is. The way we're going to crown a champion here in the Premier Cup Series in 2016, it's called the Path Premier Scramble. The first 30 races, kind of like a regular season. Drivers who win a race and finish in the top 20 in the point standings, they advance into the scramble, as do the top 3 drivers in the point standings who are non-winners. So they're going to be an unarbitrary number here when we get through the Kansas Speedway in just about 8 weeks and now 2 months from now when we get this scramble started. But as of right now, to update what your scramble field would look like, the point leader coming in tonight, 7 race wins on the season, will be the 31 of Derek Justice, the 48 of Alex Davis. He's also won a race this season. Craig Meyer, Matt Watkins, a 2-time winner. Robert Balkham's won a race this year. He's currently locked into the scramble. As is Mauricio Bedoya. We have not seen him in a couple of weeks. He is a 2-time winner. Comes in tonight, 13th in the standings. Isaac Johnson, he's also a 2-time winner, coming in 15th in the points. He's currently got his way locked in. Scott Schroyer, a feature winner earlier this season. He is currently locked in 16th in the standings, as is Steve Looney in the number 121. He has raced his way into a 19th position. He's just got that last 19th spot here. He's looking at the top 20 in points. Those guys all locked in by virtue of race wins. Who is not locked in with a race win currently is Kelly Horner, that number 21 machine. He comes in tonight 21st in the point standings, needing to race his way back to the top 20 to get his way locked into the scramble. Got to update those top 3 guys in the point standings who have not won a race here so far in 2016. Third spot in the standings is Ryan Johnson. He's the first non-winner. He would make his way in, as would Ken Hansen in the 109. He currently comes in 5 points behind Ryan Johnson. He is 4th in the overall standings. And your last driver in that would make it currently into the scramble, if we started today, is Martin Karch in that number 92. He comes in 7th spot in the overall standings, winless on the season. He is 18 markers better over the dog John Palmer, who will be the first driver on the outside looking in. So, Todd, so much racing here left to go. This scramble we get to here in the month of October, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to eliminate guys down week after week until we get all the way to the Homestead Miami Speedway, where we're going to have 2 drivers championship eligible. It's going to make for some great racing and a lot of great TV, and I certainly can't wait to see where that's all going to take us here, because there's so much that can happen between now and then.
Yeah, definitely so much that can happen between now and then, and I've been watching this battle up here, up on this battle, the 92 of Martin Karch and the number 2 machine. We do have a lap counter now for everybody out there in YouTube land down on DRTV. Finally, Rich has been working handily trying to get everything back up there. Now we do actually have a lap counter, as we are on lap 57 of 111 here at the Darlington Raceway. I've been looking at the fastest laps, Phil, of the evening. So far, the number 92 of Martin Karch has thrown out the fastest lap of the evening with a 27.610. But there's all kinds of different things going on, Phil. I believe the yellow flag is out there on the speedway once again.
Yeah, yellow flag now for the 5th time tonight, and Todd, right in the middle of green flag pit stops. I've seen a lot of the early race leaders come to pit road. The Matt Watkins, Kelly Horners, Isaac Johnsons, Craig Myers, all those guys had come to pit road. Guys like Martin Karch, Tom Sylvain, Derek Justice, Alex Davis, those guys have yet to come to pit road. Unfortunately, Todd, when we see a yellow flag in the middle of green flag pit stops, it's going to get a lot of guys trapped a lap down, and it's going to take these guys up in the admin booth here, the gang over at TDR Racing. Going to take them a little bit to get this thing all sorted out. But we're going to see maybe 12 or 13 cars left in the lead lap when this thing gets all sorted out.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of cars left on the lead lap here, Phil. It looks like right now from 14th to 22nd, I believe it looks like all laps down or 2 laps down here to the leaders. It's tough when you get that down there on pit road and you get trapped a lap down. You're going to have to get your lap back to hard way. I believe there's no waiver rounds, Phil. There is a Lucky Dog, but there is no waiver rounds in this series.
No, there is no waiver rounds currently in this series. As you said, the first driver at 1 lap down at the time of the caution flag will be scored a Lucky Dog, and that's what's going to take here a couple of minutes for these guys in charge of this race and race control. And these guys at TDR Racing, they're a top-shelf group. They'll get this thing all figured out. We'll get all the right drivers back under the lead lap. But as we get this sorted out, Rich Patton, let's see what happened here to put us under yellow flag number 5 of the night. Looks like it may be issues with the 512 of Danny Johnson up against the wall.
You are 100% correct with that assessment. The 512 of Johnston's going to have a problem, and he's going to have a big one. We're going to let this play out as it goes. He's already up against the wall, and he's a little bit slow. But you know what happens. One comes down the track. That was a vicious hit. Look at that. That was by the Hot Wheels car. Who's driving the Hot Wheels car? Can't make nothing out the number. Well, let's get over there. Schaefer, we had an issue with Schaefer earlier. You know, he was in an accident. So he clips Johnson on the side. We're going to go ahead and play this one out in slow motion. They make a big contact. Next thing you know, the 512's up on the wall. He's on his side. Front end is completely crushed in. Oh, my goodness. That is a reverse hood surf or roof surf. What a job by Johnston. Keeps it on the roof all the way down to the apron. It finally rolls back over. Look at the front end's completely crunched up. Hood is bent all up in front of him, and now smoke comes pouring out the motor. Tough break for Johnston. I know he was in the pits just a moment ago. I think he's back out of the track. Is that not right, guys? Back up to you.
No, I believe his night is over, Rich. That thing was heavily damaged. It was smoking bad. Certainly not what you want to see when you're aboard a race car there, that number 512. And unfortunately, Todd, looks like damage also going to claim the 44 of Jay Schaefer. I know he was looking really forward to Darlington. As you said, he picked up the win last week at Darlington in the TDR Legacy Grip Series here on Sunday evening. I know he was hungry to race here this evening. Had a great run going aboard that number 44. And just a hats off to Bobby Farrell and Jay Schaefer. Those guys brought out the old retro, you know, the Hot Wheels scheme for Jay Schaefer, the 43, the old 1981 throwback version of the FTP machine that was piloted by Richard Petty. Just part of so many of the great paint schemes out here tonight, Todd, that we've seen a part of this DRTV throwback night here on a Saturday night.
Yeah, a lot of different paint schemes out there. Another one has a retro paint scheme is at number 28 of Jerry Walters. Beautifully prepared looking car there. Also, I tell you, a big fan of paint scheme that I'm a fan of out there, Phil. The number 22 of Gary Piccolo. He's driving a retro Levi Garrett number 22. And it's being a big Jeff Bodine fan, and he was one of the first NASCAR drivers I ever got an autograph from. It was Jeff Bodine, and I was a fan of him for many years. And it's one of those things that I cringe to say that to everybody, because everybody's like, oh, Jeff Bodine. But I grew up here in the Northeast, and Jeff Bodine was one of those guys that he was always up top, and he was always winning those races. And I didn't get a chance to see some of the battles that he had maybe with Richie Evans, but I seen some other battles that he once had in old tapes and different things like that, Phil.
Jeff Bodine, Richie Evans, you know, amongst many guys, they just had wars up here in the late 70s and early 80s. You don't have to hang that head in shame there, Todd. I'll openly admit I was a Jeff Bodine fan for a long time growing up, and it's probably said you look around, you see all these awesome retro schemes tonight, and I think that by far also that Levi Garrett machine, number 22 Gary Piccolo. He said I would love to talk to Gary about that scheme there, Todd, but as we've documented time and time again, anybody we bring up here to the booth during the green flag conditions, including Gary here a few weeks ago, we talked to them and issues happen on the racetrack, but that is a beautiful-looking race car, as is his teammate, the 88 of Craig Meyer. Take a look at that thing, the old retro Ricky Rudd Tide Rider. That thing sticks out as well, Todd. So many great-looking cars all over the speedway tonight.
Yeah, you can't say anything. We did mention something about the high-side hustler, Martin Karch. He's in a Mopar. That's never a thing that you see him out there running around, and he's usually in that blue oval Ford. And he's in a Mopar, retro-looking Mopar scheme out there on the Speedway. So it's interesting to see all these different schemes out there on the Speedway. I've seen quite a few different ones, Phil, and I like seeing some of these old ones. They're kind of, I don't know, it's neat.
Oh, it's certainly cool, you know, as NASCAR has done for a couple of years with the Sprint Cup Series. When they head to Darlington, it's become a throwback type event. We're going to try to bring that flavor to the Premier Cup Series in 2016. The throwback look, the throwback paint schemes, the throwback Darlington Raceway. We're about ready to put this DRTV 150 back under green flag conditions. It's Martin Karch. He's going to have the race lead with Derek Justice, Robert Bauckham, Gary Piccolo, Steve Looney. That's your top five. Green flag in the air.
Yeah, green flag is in the air once again. It looks like something maybe I missed there on one of these cars down there, but it looks like there's going to be all kinds of cars out here in front of them, Phil. They're all on the lead end of the lead lap, the tail end of the lead lap here. They were one of the guys that got trapped one lap down, and the yellow flag's going to fly. Somebody, I seen a wreck, and I just caught that out of my corner of my eye there, Phil, and I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I haven't yet seen it as well, but I did see smoke on the racetrack. We'll see if we can't find what happened there, but you know, certainly something going amiss there, Todd. Not sure if you get a better look at it. I'm trying to go back and find it myself.
Yeah, looking through the wreck, and I didn't get a chance to see it there, Phil. So I can't give you much of an insight on the wreck. I know that there was something out of the corner of my eye, and I'm trying to go back. Mr. TV Time Rich Patton already has the wreck queued up, and Rich, explain it to us.
Yeah, this one's going to get a little ugly for quite a few guys that aren't going to be too happy about this one, I'm sure. We're going to keep our eyes on the 8 and the 21. Kelly Horner in the 21. We're going to let him go down through the corner. As you can see, your leader, Martin Karch, on the 92, on the 19, or on the outside. Look at that. The 21's down on the apron. We rewind that back. He clips the apron. Coming up off the apron, it pushes him up. He holds it off the 92, but guess what? The 8 is right there back on his back left corner, with nowhere else to go. So when he backed off, next thing you know, the 8 is across his back bumper. We're going to go ahead and play this back a little bit, and there's another one of your race leader or contentions of leaders, Justice, in the 31. We'll flip this camera around. He gets caught up in it as well. We'll keep an eye on Justice because we know that he's up there battling for that lead. These other guys are lap down cars. We'll have to play that one out and watch what happens, but we're going to keep our eyes on Justice as he's heading towards the inside wall. Kelly Horner's back up on the track. He gets it faced the right way. Justice flat spotting the tar out of some tires. As you can see there, a couple others coming through the picture. The 48, Alex Davis. The 108, I believe that is. Let's back up to see who that one was. Tough break for these guys. A 109. I'm hearing that's Palmer. Sorry about that, guys. Trying to get my cameras straightened out here for you guys. But a tough break for that, with Justice in the 31 also being involved. Back up to you guys.
All right, yeah, a lot going on there. Just issues up near the front of the field, and just trying to help our race control sort out where that wreck happened, where it all started, so these guys can make the proper call. But looking like the 21 of Kelly Horner got a little bit loose. The 8 of Jeremy Jeffries was all over his rear bumper. Todd, just a multiple car fracas off the corner there on the restart.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different issues out there, and it looked like Horner got loose. It might have been that Kelly might have been able to bring it back in, but Jeremy Jeffries just had nowhere to go there, and it made Kelly go around a little bit more. But I believe the 21 of Kelly Horner was just a tad bit too loose there down there, and it almost looks like if you look at the different replay angles there, as Rich was explaining, but it looks like there's almost like an apron there going into the corners as the pitch of the asphalt there just sent Kelly just a little bit sideways in that number 21.
Yeah, it certainly did, and it collected Jeremy Jeffries. It collected our point leader, Derek Justice. It collected the 48 of Alex Davis. Those two guys coming in tonight, Todd, they're top 2 in the point standings. They're also caught up in this wreck. Looks like it's going to be heavy damage to those two drivers. We'll have to update what those cars look like before the restart. But if we look at the leaderboard, Todd, a new race leader has emerged. Now working lap number 64. We're past the halfway marker. And what did you know? It's Robert Balk of the number 18, the silent assassin, Todd. He's found his way to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, he's definitely the silent assassin in that number 18 machine. You just don't know when he's going to come to the front of the field. And that number 18 of Robert Balcom, he's no stranger to victory lane on DRTV or any of these tracks for that matter. That number 18 machine always fast at Apple Collision Center sponsored machine, and right now leading. Tom Salvain is sitting in that second spot. Gary Picklow is third. Fourth is Steve Looney. Fifth is Ken Hansen. Sixth is a 48 of Alex Davis. Seventh to 15 of Matt Watkins. Eighth is a 70 of Jason Skaraki. 59 is ninth of Ryan Johnson, and 10th right now is Derek Justice in that number 31 machine.
That's your current top 10 as these guys roll around under caution flag, just seeing things going on and off pit road. We're trying to see what some strategy plays may be. It also looks like the 103 of Carson Krenz, Todd, he may be the benefactor of the lucky dog. That's going to put 15 drivers back onto the lead lap You know, looking back, those guys still trapped a lap down. The likes of Jeremy Jeffries, who was caught up in that caution. Jerry Walters was having a good run of the 20, and he's currently 2 laps down. Craig Meyer is 2 laps down. As it looks like Kelly Horner also 2 laps down. Those guys, Todd, they're going to have a charge from deep in the field here as now work on lap number 65. And lights are out with DRTV Pace Fan. I think we have a lot to look forward to here through the last half of this race.
Yeah, indeed, we do have a lot of different things to look forward to here. We are halfway through this race. Lap 65 of 111 laps have been completed. So you got 65 laps going to come up on 66 here when we get this green flag here at the Darlington Raceway. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But it looks like Robert Balkin is going to lead him. It looks like the 88 is down low there. He is on the tail end of the lead lap there in that number 88 machine. That's the Punisher, Craig Meyer. Beautiful retro like we were hitting there, the Tide ride there, Ricky Craven ride in that number 88 machine. So he's trying to get back on the lead lap. Or Ricky Rudd, excuse me. Ricky Craven also ran that ride also, Phil.
Yeah, he really did. Ricky Craven, Ricky Rudd also, not quite as bright, but Darrell Waltrip also ran a similar Tide scheme as we look at the Punisher, Craig Meyer in the number 88, currently 1 lap down in that 17th position. Still a lot of racing here left to do. We'll update the restart here. The DRTV Pace Fan, he's pulled his way down off the banking. He's onto pit road. We're going to put this DRTV Throwback 150 under the green flag. Robert Bauckham, Tom Sylvain, Gary Piccolo, Steve Looney, Alex Davis. That's going to be your top 5. Started looking over the field. Going to be green flag in the air.
Green flag is back in the air. Loud pedal is down into turn number 1. You got Robert Balcom leading the charge, but the 88 of Craig Meyer, just remember, he is 1 lap down. He's trying to stay in front of the leaders to get his lap back to hard way. Here comes Tom Sylvain, using kind of like Craig Meyer as a pick, as Sylvain now goes to the lead. Robert Balcom falls back to that 2nd position. The 22 machine of Gary Piccolo is running in that 3rd spot, as now Sylvain puts Craig Meyer back down the lap in that number 88 machine as he's up there in the wall. His yellow flag is going to fly once again here at the Darlington Raceway. The Lady in Black strikes once again.
Yeah, this will be striking now for the 6th time tonight, and seeing stuff going on the speedway. I think something may have happened around with the 43. No, maybe not the 43. Seeing him rolling off a pit road. Not trying to find where that may have happened around, Todd. Not sure if you got to look at that as well.
I did not, as I was watching the battle for the lead there and watching Sylvain try to get around Craig Meyer as he just hit the wall there, and it looked like the wall just sucked Craig Meyer in that 88 machine. He was trying to get his lap back to hard way, but Sylvain able to keep him behind him. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has that replay queued up and ready. We're going to all find out what happened out there on the speedway, Phil.
Yeah, most definitely. I get to fix my mistake earlier. Couldn't figure out who was in the 108. I've been trying to bounce around earlier, but John Palmer, the dog, 108, looks like he's going to make a little bit of contact with the 24. Maybe tries to save it, but he gets right up there on his bumper. Thought about going below him. He tags him. Next thing you know, he lets off, gets into the wall, and that's Jeremy Jeffries right there in the 8. He's going to also make contact with him. The 109 dog Palmer is up in the wall. Jeffries passes him down low, comes back up, parks him behind him, well, actually in front of him, depends on where you look at it or how you look at it, but definitely both of them going to be a little bit damaged up. Let's see if we can get another view of this. Same corner, guys. That's where the big ones are happening so far tonight. There it is, the 108 and the 8, guys. Back up to you.
All right, yeah, certainly something going amiss there. Looks like the 108 getting a little hard in the corner. That, of course, the dog, John Palmer, and unfortunately, Todd, for guys like Jeremy Jeffries, he's got a rough go over here in the 2nd half. He's tore up once again in that Eagle 1, number 8.
Yeah, he changed his paint scheme, his number, and everything all around, and maybe he's thinking he's second thoughts about that in that number 8 machine, and tough break for Jeremy Jeffries. He's been in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Jeremy's been running inside the top 5, but we're going to have to see what happens. The number 2 of Tom Sylvain is still leading, and looks like something else going to miss. The 108 of John Palmer behind the wall. Now Jeremy Jeffries also behind the wall. Damage too significant aboard those cars. Palmer in the number 8 machine of Jeremy Jeffries, Phil.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if something go amiss on the 24 or the 108. Just got that thing deep into the corner too far, but unfortunately it looks like Palmer's going to be behind the wall. The 8 of Jeremy Jeffries, he's also going to be behind the wall. So, and a lot of things happening here, Todd, at the Darlington Raceway. And you know, it's Darlington. I mean, it's the Lady in Black. It's the track too tough to tame. It's got the reputation to chew up race cars, and to just completely ruin guys' nights. And unfortunately, you're seeing a lot of bent up sheet metal through the first 70 laps. I believe that was yellow flag number 6 of the evening. I'm not sure if we lost Too Tall Todd Stanton there or not. I'm not sure if there was an alien abduction, but lights have now returned on the DRTV pace fin, so there's something happening there before we get to the restart. But Rich Patton, I'm really hoping that nothing happened to our buddy Todd again, because I know a couple of weeks ago when I believe we were at New Hampshire, I believe he was paid a visitor there by those aliens, and I hope to God they haven't claimed him once again.
Yeah, I don't know about aliens, and I don't know about Gomer, but yeah, there's been some problems down there with communications, and the wrong people are stealing them, evidently.
Oh my, not exactly sure. I don't know if we have Rich on the horn. I'm not sure if we have Todd on the horn. There is something definitely going awry here tonight on DRTV. We're having some fun here. The throwback version here of Darlington Raceway, race number 23 of the 36 that make up the Premier Cup Series schedule in 2016. And Todd, a lot going on here tonight. I hope we have you back on the horn. I believe we're about a lap away from the restart. We await the lights to go out again. Not sure what happened there to make this thing stretch out one lap or not, but when we get to the restart, it's going to be our pole sitter, the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. He's going to reclaim the race lead. Robert Bauckham, Gary Piccolo, Steve Looney, and Alex Davis has rebounded. He's up in the top 5.
Yeah, Steve Looney having a good run there, and Alex Davis also having a pretty good run. Those guys inside the top 5, as it looks like the 88 machine, Craig Meyer, going to get back on the lead lap. He's the recipient of the lucky dog. Kelly Horner going to come up here and try to get his lap back the hard way in that number 21 machine, but pace lights are out atop that beautifully prepared DRTV pace van. We're getting ready to throw that van off the speedway. We're getting kind of sick of it. I know there's quite a following out there to watch the DRTV pace van, but after a while, Phil, you just get kind of sick of seeing these yellows. We're going to have to page that Dr. Green here. It's just like cautions breed cautions here at Darlington. Yellow flag out once again. It's the pace lights come right back on. Not sure what's going on there.
As we wait the restart here, not sure what's going on here at Darlington Raceway tonight. Something's certainly going amiss out on the racetrack, and track quite not ready for racing conditions here as we await the restart. We await the lights to go out once again. It's, of course, Tom Sylvain, the race leader. Robert Bauckham, Gary Piccolo, Steve Looney, and Alex Davis. Rich, I believe you have an update.
No update down here. We're doing fine. Thanks.
I don't know what's happened to Rich. I think Gomer actually got a hold of Rich now. I thought Rich had security around. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll have to see if we can get security to the trailer there and see if we can get that microphone out of Gomer's hand down there in that DRTV control booth. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. This is going to be try number 2 here, as it looks like the van lights are now extinguished once again. I believe there was a piece of debris. It might have even been a beer can of one of these unhappy fans at Darlington Raceway right now. I seen him chuck it over the fence, Phil, and he was trying to chuck it over the fence and hit one of the drivers out there on the speedway, and it was a really failed attempt at trying to throw a beer can, and it was full too, and I don't understand why they're throwing full beer cans out on the speedway.
Now, when you come to the racetrack, those things certainly ain't cheap, so we'll restart here. Is on the restart, Tom Sylvain, he'll restart with the race lead with Robert Bauckham and Gary Piccolo in your top 3. Kelly Horner there, he's going to restart on the inside lane. Kelly currently, I believe it's going to cycle him back to 1 lap down, currently in that 17th position. Not exactly sure where the running it's going to be, Todd. We'll have to get that all worked out. But the field once again now into turn number 3, and we're anxiously awaiting a restart, currently working lap number 71. So I know we've documented, Todd, many, many times. Common Core math majors up here. I believe that's 40 laps to go.
Yeah, indeed, that's 40 laps to go. Paceman going to make it down to pit road this time. No extra extended caution here this time at the Darlington Raceway. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing, just waiting on that flagger to throw that green silk. And that green silk is in his hand, so we're just waiting. These guys getting ready to put the loud pedal down, and they're pretty antsy here. Green flag is now in the air. Tom Salvain, what a jump by the number 2 machine. He's got about a 3-car length advantage already on top of the number 18 of Robert Balcom here, coming into corner number 1. What a one whale of a restart for that number 2 machine. Kelly Horner falls into that, which would be position number 2 on the track, but he is 1 lap down. He's trying to get his lap back to Hardway. Aboard that number 21 machine is Robert Balcom, still running in third. Nice battle going on for that third spot is the number between the number 22 of Gary Piccolo and the 121 of Steve Looney. Alex Davis gets out of shape. He's going to lose the position to the 15 of Matt Watkins and Derek Justice. So Alex Davis now drop kicked back to, I believe that's going to be around the 7th position.
Yeah, he's going to fall out of line, as you said. Matt Watkins, the number 15. We've seen that Toyota have a little bit of damage there a little while ago. He's making a charge back up through the field. He's just raced his way now back up to the 5th position, and he's on the march, Todd. He's going to look for 4 there. He's trying to find room around Steve Looney, who has a check up there because Gary Piccolo got out of the gas. That's great single-file racing there into turn 3 for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, pretty good single-file racing here, if you want to call single-file racing good. But these guys trying to be able to get to the end here, and you're going to start seeing these guys get out of line. They're going to get a little bit antsy. Gary Piccolo trying to get himself inside that top 20, trying to get one of those spots. It would be very beneficial for that number 22 machine to get a win here at Darlington. It's right now running in 3rd in that number 22 machine. So he's worried about points, plus he's worried about getting that win. Steve Looney already have a win on the season, but he's trying to stay inside the top 20, like Phil was saying. Here comes Derek Justice. He's going to make short work of the number 15 machine of Matt Watkins, put Justice now to that 5th spot. Now the number 15 of Watkins has the 48 of Alex Davis all over the rear bumper of him, and now that's going to be a nice battle there for a 6th spot.
Yeah, it's a great run for the 6th spot there between the 15 of Watkins, the 48 of Davis. Davis got a little bit out of shape, as did Watkins now off of turn number 4. He slid up into the outside wall. Alex could not capitalize on that whatsoever. They're going to ride back single file. We look up 1 car ahead of these 2 guys, Todd, the 31 of Derek Justice. We've seen him with some damage there from a previous incident, but he is certainly on the move. He's going to look for 4th there around Steve Looney into turn 3.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to get around the number 121 of Steve Looney on the top side of the speedway. One of those guys, we haven't seen a lot of moves on the top side, but the 31 of Derek Justice has been able to pull off a couple of moves here and there on the extreme top side of the speedway. And that number 31 Baskin-Robbins sponsor machine, as it looks like he's got a little bit of jitter aboard that number 31 machine. Alien's trying to maybe play in a stage of attack on that 31 of Derek Justice, but Justice still maintaining strong here in that 4th spot, trying to work over the top side on Steve Looney. Looney on the top side, and I'm not sure what's going on out there in the speedway. I'm losing the cars, Phil.
Well, looks like maybe Homer having a little more abduction there from our friend Too Tall Todd Stanton as we look around the speedway. You know, Justice and Looney, they're racing a great battle for that 4th spot. Another guy having a terrific run here tonight, Todd, and we certainly do not see in the Premier Cup Series a lot, and I wanted to put the spotlight on him here one more time. Running in the 9th position, that number 70, Jason Skaraki, in that beautifully paired number 70 car. Currently in that 9th spot, for whatever reason, we don't see him in that Safer Barrier Project white and red scheme. I believe, Rich, we got him out there in the Enterprise rental paint scheme here tonight. But J-Rock, Todd, we certainly don't see him enough on the racetrack. I know he's done so much work for this community for many, many years, and another one of his great creations tonight, this 60th anniversary Darlington Raceway. I know it's a track that he is very proud of, and he's having a great run of it out here tonight. He's got the 70 out there. He's running in the nice spot.
Yeah, hats off to the number 70 of J-Rock, having a good run, like you said, Phil, running in that 9th position inside the top 10. That's pretty good for J-Rock. He don't get a lot of time out there on the speedway, but he's showing that he's not able to knock off the rust and come out there and run with some of these guys. And there's some big names out here, Phil, and some of these guys, I don't even think I would be running inside that top 10 right now.
Now, it's certainly a list of heavy hitters that come into the Premier Cup Series every week, and if you'd like to toss your hat into the ring and be a part of this series as well, contact the gang at TDR Racing, TDR-racing.net. Also can find them in the all-new acquired Sim Racing Association. Check out that website, simracingassociation.com. You can find TDR Racing in the SRA team speaking. We'd love to have you a part of the series. 7 more broadcast shows here in 2016 for the Premier Cup Series, and premium access to the Safer Barrier Project and all the great work that J-Rock does, all for a value of $20. So contact the gang at TDR Racing and at DRLnetwork.com and be a part of this Premier Cup Series, Todd. As we see racing out there now for that 3rd and 4th spot, Derek Justice, he's been able to make his way around that Steve Looney machine. The 31 is on the march, Todd, in the turn 3.
Yeah, Derek Justice has been on the march, and that number 31 machine getting a little bit of damage, and looks like Justice is even faster with that little bit of damage aboard. That number 31 Baskin Robbins now going to peek down to the inside of the 22 of Gary Piccolo, not able to pull out the pass there momentarily, but once again down on the bottom side fighting once again tooth and nail with the 22 of Gary Piccolo. What a battle here for that 3rd spot. It's really heating up, Phil, and you don't know which way they're going to go. Here comes the 15 of Matt Watkins. Watkins now getting into the fray.
Yeah, Matt Watkins is right there. As you said, he's rebounded. He's having a great run in the top 5. As well as Martin Karch. Those guys, they're all can throw them under a blanket. As yellow flag now back on the speedway, Todd. Yellow flag for the 7th time tonight.
Yeah, yellow flag definitely out for the 7th time out there on the speedway, trying to find out who was involved in that field, and I'm not sure who it actually was out there on the speedway trying to catch up, and I don't see anybody out there, and looking still, and I don't know if it was a 103 maybe of Carson Krins. He looks a little slow, but I'm not 100% positive, as I can't really tell, Phil.
I'm trying to go back over to see what may have happened here to put us under yellow flag number 7 tonight. I think Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, with all those the glorious looks on the cameras, I'm sure he'll find something going on before we even get there. But trying to look around, Todd, now I'm not finding it on my screen. I know Rich is going to find it long before I do, so we'll give him a minute. Hearing it may involve around the 121 of Steve Looney, which would certainly be a tough break, as Steve was having a tremendous run here tonight. He was, I believe, in the 6th position. He was right around that Matt Watkins, Tom Sylvain, Martin Karch battle that was out on the speedway, or rather Matt Watkins on the 15 rather. Looks like the 121 maybe got a little bit loose here, Todd. We'll have to let Rich tell the story, but unfortunately for our friend Steve, was having a great run. He looks like he was facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for the 121 of Steve Looney. Looney having a good run, and it just looks like it got a little bit tail happy. We're going to have to see if it collected anybody or whatnot. I believe Mr. TV Time Rich Patton will have that replay, and I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, who is caught up, not even caught up, found what happened to the 121 of Steve Looney.
Hey, I'm here. Rich isn't here right now, so I'm going to do this for him. So it is Looney. It's 121 of Steve Looney. Looks like he's going to get a little bit loose going into the corner. Look at that rear end coming out from under him right there. He tries to jump on the brakes a little bit. Oh, no, Alex Davis, look out. I'm trying to drive in front of you. Bumps in the rear. Bumps in the rear. 121's going around. Steve Looney is backwards on the track, facing the wrong direction. He's now sideways. Doesn't look like anything major, just smoked up some tires, burned a little bit of rubber, flat spotted them little Goodyear tires on that car, and he gets it pointed in the right direction, so I think that's it. Oh, security's here, I gotta go, bye.
Oh my goodness. Well, once again, Todd, stuff happening all over this Darlington Raceway, gremlins all over the place tonight. We've had the share of hiccups here tonight. We had the feed go down. We lost power in the booth, and security there certainly had its hands full tonight. I hope they've been able to restore Rich and figure out where he's been, but I don't know, Todd. It's certainly been a weird night here, and we're at Darlington. Of course it's a weird night.
Yeah, definitely a weird night here at Darlington Raceway, and it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to finish here. We are on lap 86 of 111. That's 25 laps left to go. I believe security has reeled in Gomer there, who was down in that replay trailer, and hopefully Rich is back with us here. We're going to have to check with Rich here in a little bit to see if they finally found Rich. Last time he was out there, he was hogtied, and we're going to have to see what happens.
All right, yeah, we'll certainly have to see what happens. We'll have to update what's happened to our friend Rich Patton. Hopefully he's got it all set in the booth. I think the feed's still going here, Todd. I'm seeing pictures all over the speedway here as we get ready for the restart. We'll follow along. Tom Sylvain with the race lead. Robert Baucom, Derek Justice, Gary Piccolo, Matt Watkins is your current top 5. 6 through 10, Martin Karch, Alex Davis, Jason Skaraki, Ryan Johnson, Steve Looney now relegated to the 10th spot. 11th is Ken Hansen. Matt Lesniewski's 12th. Carson Krenz is 13th. Those are the last drivers on the lead lap. 14th, Craig Meyer. I believe he may have the lucky dog this time, Todd, so that may put 14 drivers on the lead lap. And Monty Keller going to round out your top 15 as I believe we're ready for a restart here.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get ready for a restart here. It looks like the pace lights are still up on top of the DRTV pace fan. Still waiting for them to go out. Maybe this time they'll go out. 100% positive there. You're still looking as Tom Sylvain still leading this event. Looks like lights went out here on the DRTV pace fan. Craig Meyer able to get his lap back. He's going to be on the lead lap. 14 cars going to be left on the lead lap, as Phil said. Tom Sylvain, Robert Baucom, Derek Justice, Gary Piccolo, Matt Watkins, Martin Karch, Alex Davis, Jason Skaraki, Ryan Johnson, Steve Looney, Ken Hansen, Matt Lesniewski, Carson Krenz, and Craig Meyer. That would be 14 cars left on the lead lap. Guys that are laps down, the 21 of Kelly Horner, 2 laps down. Bobby Farrell, 2 laps down. Monte Keller, 2 laps down. And Jerry Walters, also 2 laps down. So it's interesting. We have a few cars that have retired from this event. 19th, 108 of John Palmer, Jeremy Jeffries, Jay Schaefer, Isaac Johnson, Dylan Johnston, or Danny Johnston, Jim Black, and Bill Martino. That rounds out your top 25-car field here. So some of them have not finished very well here tonight, and the lady in black has struck them. Get ready to go back to green flag racing here just momentarily. It's not that far away, Phil, as we're coming into turn number 3 right now.
Yeah, the field in turn number 3 awaiting the restart. As you said, it's going to be Rusty Wallace at number 2, Bobby Labonte. They're going to have the runner-up spot. Oh, wait a minute. That's Derek. That's Tom Sylvain and Robert Baucom there. Seeing these throwback schemes, Todd, it just put me in that headspace. You know, Jeff Bodine having a great run out there in the 4th spot as well. You know, we look around the speedway. I'm just so thrilled to see all these throwback paint schemes out here at Darlington tonight as the van hits pit road, and we're going to get ready for a restart, Todd. We're going to let that flying deuce. He's going to pace the field. Green flag in the air.
Green flag in the air, and check up that number 2, I believe, has spun his tires, Tom Sylvain, and they were bumper humping down the front straightaway, as I would call it there. The 2 of Tom Sylvain just checked up the field, and they just kept piling into each other. They all kept it straight, though, but bumper humping on the front straightaway there, Phil.
Oh, my, I want to get the rating on this show tonight as the field works its way into turn number 3. Tom Sylvain, as you said, he checked up the field there in that number 2. Looks like he's going to maintain the race lead with Robert Baucom there in that 2nd spot. Derek Justice 3rd and Gary Piccolo into the 4th spot. Sorry, guys, having a little bit of issue there on my end. Keyboard was cutting out there. I didn't know if the button was going through or not, as I've seen all the lights go out on my end of things. Just a weird night, Todd, as we work off of turn number 4. It is Tom Sylvain, your race leader. Great race for 2nd now off of turn 4.
Yeah, great race for that 2nd position. Robert Baucom has it, P2. P3 is the 31 of Derek Justice. Justice all over the rear bumper of the 18 of Baucom. Baucom slides up the track. It looks like Derek Justice, he's trying to take Justice's line away, is now Robert Baucom's trying to hold on to that 2nd spot and that number 18 machine. Justice all over the rear bumper of the 18. I'm going back to that 4th position right now, being driven by the 22 of Gary Piccolo. He's having a good run. Martin Karch now back inside the top 5 in that number 92 machine as he got around the 15 of Matt Watkins.
Yeah, he certainly did. He's starting to march back forward as that Mopar Dodge, that Casey Kane throwback scheme tonight aboard that number 92. He's marching forward, and he's going to look under that Levi Garrett, number 22 Chevrolet. Gary Piccolo in that 4th spot. Looks like Martin, the 92, he may pull to the low side there. That is racing for the 4th spot now off of turn 2.
Yeah, nice racing for that 4th spot, as it looks like the 92 of Martin Karch able to get down to the bottom side of the 22 of Gary Piccolo. Nope, not going to be able to do so that time. Down the front straightaway is Gary Piccolo able to close the door on the number 92 of Martin Karch. Here comes Karch now trying to pull up to the rear bumper of the 22 of Gary Piccolo. Piccolo really trying to reel in these guys up in the top three, but Martin Karch just sitting there waiting for Gary Piccolo to make one of those mistakes.
Yeah, waiting to capitalize on a mistake there as that race for fourth now taking place. Martin going to swing to the low side as they head toward turn number one. He got that Mopar rolling there. Gary Piccolo, he's going to seed way, put the 22 back to the fifth spot there, Todd, as that's allowing our race leader, Tom Sylvain. He's starting to drive away from the field as they hit turn three.
Yeah, Sylvain trying to run away and hide, drive off into the sunset in that number 2 machine. Sylvain, that Rusty Wallace throwback looking car there, that Million Veteran Draft, many wins on the Bristol Motor Speedway with that kind of paint scheme there, Phil. It's interesting to see Darlington, another form of, I call it a short track, but it's more like a super speedway short track is Darlington Raceway, but it kind of drives like a short track, but also a little bit faster than a short track. So Sylvain right now leading in that number 2 machine, the 18 of Robert Balcom, still running in that second spot. Derek Justice in third. Martin Karch now in that fourth spot. He's got a tall task in hand. His yellow flag going to fly once again on the speedway, Phil, as Martin Karch looked like Karch was starting to reel him in.
No, he was certainly on the move, and there is no doubt about it what was going on there. He was on a rail. He was coming there, and that's going to be yellow flag number 9 of the evening. And going to see if we can't give Rich a little bit of guidance here of maybe what happened and where this all transpired from. Looks like it's going to be turn number 3 that's going to claim another victim here tonight. That's certainly been the trouble spot here tonight, and it looks like, unfortunately, it's going to be the 21 of Kelly Horner who may be pointing in the wrong direction. Not sure if there was contact there, but let's find out and let Rich tell the story. So, Rich, it's all yours, bud.
Yeah, I made my way back down here to the booth. Somebody made a mess in this booth. I don't know what happened while I was gone. But anyway, we're going to keep our eyes on the 21 of Kelly Horner as he's going to get into the infamous turn 3. And the black marks are all over turn 3 right there. There go the black marks, and there goes Kelly's rear end coming around right in front of Watkins there in the 15. Kelly Horner follows them black marks on the racetrack and follows them right up into the wall, smashes his back end or backside right into the wall. Good thing he keeps it up there by the wall, lets everybody else get around him. But tough break, turn 3, eats another driver tonight, or possibly between 3 and 4. It looks like maybe they're coming to an end right in the middle of turn 4 possibly. But tough end of the track down there tonight. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, and it's certainly always a trouble spot. Anytime you come to Darlington, as that turn number 3 certainly is, and I believe that's yellow flag number 9 of the evening. 96 laps, 100 laps is the main event distance tonight for the Premier Cup Series for race number 23 of the 2016 season. And Todd, you look up and down the standings here right now. We've got probably about 16 laps to go in this thing, give or take. Say the math skills once again not completely the sharpest up here all the time, but. I believe these guys from here all can make it on fuel, but now the question is, if you're Tom Sylvain, if you're Robert Balcom, do you take tires or do you risk giving up that track position, Todd? If you're out there in that DRTV Motorsports Team Crush number 91 machine, what would you do out there? Would you come in and take tires out of the race lead right now, or are you going to play track position?
I mean, tires seem to be helping you. I mean, there haven't been a huge long green flag run out there on the speedway. It was pretty close. I don't know. I would have to take at least 2 tires, Phil. It would just have to be the call for me. I know Martin Karch stayed out there on the speedway in that number 92 machine, so we're going to have to see him. What's going to happen there is he's got a few laps out of his tires, but he's more on the edge of destruction or out of control is that number 92 Martin Karch. He loves to be sideways, so that might be beneficial to him having a little bit older tires.
Well, and Martin, as you said, Todd, no stranger to being sideways, and I know he's more at home on the dirt, as we certainly know. If anybody follows the gang over at TDR Racing, there's this little dirt series on Tuesday night, the Todd Stanton's Amsoil 358 Super Dirt Series with the dirt late models. I believe Martin Karch, Todd, has reeled up, 11 consecutive wins on Tuesday night over at TDR, so he's certainly no stranger to being sideways.
Yeah, it's been 11 straight wins exactly in that series. Nobody has been able to beat him. There's been a bounty out for several weeks, and still nobody's able to reel in the number 92 of Martin Karch, and that bounty has gone up, and now it's just sitting there. And for anybody's taking, he must finish on the lead lap, and he must finish the race in order for anybody to collect that bounty. But Martin Karch, nobody's been able to challenge him. Probably the best NASCAR 2003 driver on the dirt side of things. He's out here giving a hand on the asphalt in that number 92 machine, and he's trying to search for a win here on the asphalt, Phil. He's had many wins in dirt, and he's just been struggling this year in the DRTV Premier Cup Series.
Yeah, he's looking for that first win of the year, as you said. And how much do you think, Kim Todd, looking for that first win is playing a factor into his strategy play here late in this race? I know he's desperately looking to put that thing in the victory lane and to get his ticket punched into the scramble here in about 2 months. But how much do you think him needing that first win is playing into him not coming in taking fresh tires?
I think that's playing a pretty good role in not coming in and taking fresh tires. He wants that win. He don't want to make it in on points. 92 wants to be able to relax the rest of the season here until race number 30 when that scramble starts. Getting a win, he'll punch his ticket automatically into the scramble. So that way he don't have to worry about the points, and it's going to be interesting to see if Martin Kart's going to be able to pull it off. I'm thinking he's going to try it. He's thinking about banking on maybe some yellow flags here with these older tires, as these guys got fresh Goodyear Eagles behind them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. As Kart's on older tires, the rest of the field is on fresher Goodyear Eagles.
Well, we'll have to see. Those guys behind Martin, Tom Sylvain, Derek Justice, Robert Bauckham, those guys all have fresh tires, as Todd said. We're going to put the restart in. The van looking to make its way off of the banking this time as they head down the back straightaway. The lights are out. 98 laps of 111, so less than 15 laps remaining in the DRTV Throwback 150 from a Darlington Raceway. Does Martin Karch have a tire to maintain the race lead? Does Tom Sylvain, currently second? Now keep in mind, Todd, both those drivers winless here in 2016. Tommy's mired down in the point standings. He's run a part-time limited schedule, currently 30th in the standings. How much does a win propel a guy like Tom Sylvain tonight? How about Derek Justice, the number 31, the defending Premier Cup Series champion, a 7-time winner in 2016, your current point leader. He's currently in the 3rd spot, all with fresh tires. Who's it going to be, Todd? The pace van is in, and we're going to look for a restart here. Starter got the flag in hand.
Yeah, starter got the flag in hand. They're all bunched up here on the front straightaway. It looks like Justice out of line there in the third position already. Nobody's going. Yellow flag still out on the speedway. Looks like pace van going to come back out on the speedway, Phil. I'm not sure what happened.
Not exactly sure what happened there, Todd, but pace van, as you said, is going to work its way back out onto the speedway, and not seeing anything going on as a miss out there, but unfortunately it looks like we're going to be at least another lap or so before we get back under green flag. And it looks like now the lights are out atop the van, Todd, as he's rolling around on the inside of the racetrack. Certainly a very strange situation here, what we have going on, but it's been certainly a strange night here on DRTV as we await the restart here. These guys are working their way now off of turn number 2.
Yeah, they are working their way off of turn number 2. They're going to have to slow up and let the pace van get back in front of them. And I'm not sure what happened there. Pace van, maybe they thought there was a piece of debris out there. Now the yellow lights are out atop that pace van. And it looks like they're going to try this once again on the speedway as the pace van now assumes its role in front of the 92 of Martin Karch, the high side hustler. As now it looks like the pace van going to be able to pull off this time. He's just waiting to pull off. It's just been a really strange night here at the Darlington Raceway, and here comes the pace van. Pace van, let's see if he's going to pull off or if he's going to stay out. We're just that pace van going to pull off. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Who's going to be here at the Darlington Raceway? Many of these questions will be answered here in about 12 laps here at the Darlington Raceway. Flagger has that green flag in hand, getting ready to throw it. This time, looks like he has it. He has it. Green flag's in the air. We're back to racing here at the Darlington Raceway. Tom Sylvain on fresh tires. Martin Karch on older tires. Let's see how this is all going to prevail. Here comes the 31 of Derek Justice way up to the top side. He's trying to challenge for P2 already.
Yeah, and he's been, I think there's a guy out there. We talk about Martin as being the fan on the high side. I've seen the 31 of Derek Justice. He's been the guy on the move in the high lane all day long. He's going to ride on the tire tracks of these top two, side by side for the race lead. The 2 down low, the 92 up high, 92 out on the wall, Todd.
Yeah, 92 bounces off the wall. Sylvain gathers it back. Those guys touched on the first straightaway. Sylvain now to the lead, and now Justice touches the 92. That sends him into the outside wall. Tough break for Martin Karch on other tires, and Piccolo now gets Martin Karch. He is a ping pong ball, is the number 92 machine.
Yeah, and that's going to bring yellow flag on the speedway as those guys all gaggled in the wrong direction there. Those guys all bumper tagging. I'm not sure if something happening just behind them guys to bring a yellow flag out here, Todd, but that was certainly some interesting racing there, and unfortunately for Martin Karch, the 92, he restarted with the race lead. He was shuffled out, and as you said, a ping pong ball down that front straightaway.
Yeah, definitely a ping pong ball. It's a tough break for Martin Karch, as that's going to put him all the way back to that 9th position. And I believe you're going to see him come in for fresh Goodyear Eagles aboard that number 92 machine. He tried to do everything he could, but we're going to have to see that it was quite a traffic jam on the first straightaway. Not sure who to even call that on, Phil. If you were an admin, that's a tough decision for an admin here at TDR.
Well, let's see if Rich can't tell us the story of what happened there. So, Rich, let's start with you with the replay. I believe this caution flag number 10 of the evening.
Yeah, and I think this one's going to roll on to a couple different issues. We're going to try to go through the field as they happen or as we come across them. The first thing we're going to keep our eyes on is Martin Karch. He gets a little bumper car happy going on. He gets a little bit high, gets up onto the side after some contact with the 31. He comes back down. He's trying to stay up off that wall. There you see the 22, Gary Piccolo, getting a little loose. He saves it. Next thing you know, comes right up in top of the 92. And tags Martin Karch's front end. We're going to keep our cameras on Karch. As you can see there, 88. That's going to be Craig Meyer. He's checking up hard for some reason. Looks like trying to keep it off of, who do we have here in front of him? The 59 of Johnson. Trying to keep it off of him. He's going to lock up his brakes pretty hard. Look at him smoking up right there. Next thing you know, the 92 is all upset. His car is out of balance. We're going to go back to the 92 once again. As you can see, also we have another one back here spun around. That's behind. That's going to be the 109 of Ken Hansen. He's also going around. So we'll keep the camera on him as well. You can see the 92 Mopar right there of Martin Karch. He collects himself just fine. Hansen gets it down on the apron. Also, you see the 24 there as well getting involved. He's doing circles down the backstretch. Meanwhile, everybody else is trying to get around him. And then the next thing you knew, the 028 is going to get into Lesniewski. That's going to be Monte Keller. Just a bunch of things going on back here. Cars are everywhere. Keeping our eyes on what's going on with the 24. The 43 also dives down a little bit low. Try to miss everybody. Lots of smoke down there on the backstretch, but I believe we were able to cover everybody that decided they didn't want to go in the right direction for some reason today. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all saw how it happened. Just a big old mess back there. Back up to you guys.
A lot going on there, Todd. You see just multiple cars getting loose. You know, the guys at Race Control, I think they're going to have their hands full. This one, there's so much happening there. Cars getting loose over the racetrack. Guys letting off and just getting, losing the rear end. You're out there 12th, 13th in line, Todd. I'm not exactly sure what you can do in that situation.
Yeah, definitely not sure what you could do in that situation. It's just one of those things that if I had any say to it, I think I would have to call it a racing deal. And I don't like to call it racing deals. It's the wreck is always somebody's fault. But there was 5 or 6 different guys you probably could have called that on, and that's tough for the TDR admins. It's tough to see what's going to go on with those guys. And I'm glad I'm not in one of those leather cushiony seats that they got.
It's just one of those things, Todd. It's certainly been an interesting evening. We're seeing strange racing. We're seeing strange extra pace laps. Heck, we even lost a feed here earlier tonight. Here, issues in the booth. We've had an alien abduction in the booth. We've had an alien abduction down in the trailer. I know Rich has had a fiasco of a night. But Rich, I got a silly question for you here. I know you just gave us a great replay, but I heard you say a little while ago we heard a strange voice coming over that thing. Security was there once again, and I heard you say somebody made a mess there on the way back. For what circumstances did you have to leave the booth here this evening? Because it sounds like you left the door wide open.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Things have been so hectic down here today. It's probably my own fault. I was rush trying to get things done and get this show going. As you know, we got a lot of speed bumps tonight and what have you. And I just didn't have time to use the potty earlier, so I had to run out, use the potty real quick, and I completely forgot to lock the door. So I'm not sure who was in here or what happened, but there's things everywhere. It's a big mess for me to have to clean up in here, and I've been trying to work at it, but these replays are keeping me busy, so yeah, it's going to be a long night here, I think. I don't know what happened. I just know I got a mess to clean up.
Well, the excerpts from Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, down in the booth, and it's been a weird night, Todd, and we're going to be so busy here on DRTV over the next couple of months. We have multiple races here for the Premier Cup Series, all the coverage of the Path Premier Scramble in about 2 months. Next show up for us, the Brian Knighting 150 for the guys over at Extreme Motorsports on Thursday night, August the 25th, just about 2 weeks away, just a little less than 2 weeks on a Thursday night. We head over to Extreme Motorsports. 10:30 is the green flag time, 10:30 in the evening on a Thursday night for a great field of cars they're going to have over on hand, the Brian Knighting Memorial 150, the 7th annual. And then 2 nights after that, we make a return visit to the SMO Hardcore guys for their 12th anniversary race on a Saturday night on August the 27th. So much great racing going on here, Todd. It feels like we've been extremely busy here. We're very, very thankful for, and it's only going to get busier as we get through into the fall months here on DRTV. A lot of great stuff coming up.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up, and we're probably going to see some more races out there, Phil. It gets real racing season starts ending down. A lot of guys return to online racing again, and they go full bore, and you start seeing more and more broadcasts. And I just can't wait. As Van is starting to pull off here at the Darlington Raceway, Van has pulled off down the pit road. Who's going to be here as we're on lap 105, going to complete 106 here of 111 laps. Phil, you've got a lot of different guys out there. Anybody could win. You got Sylvain, you got Derek Justice, Robert Balco, Matt Watkins, Ryan Johnson, Gary Piccolo as the green flag flies, Alex Davis, Craig Meyer, Steve Looney, and Carson Kriz. That is your top 10 as the Tom Sylvain machine leads them down into corner number 1 and 2. Derek Justice right there, about a car length and a half in that second spot. Robert Balcom all over the rear bumper. Matt Watkins running a solid 4th, and Ryan Johnson up to 5th there. Phil, in that number 59 machine, these guys all duking it out and battling it out here in the top 5.
Yes, they are, but now less than 5 laps to go. They're going to be working 107 when they come back around for the next time. Just highlighting, Todd, that top 5 position, Ryan Johnson there aboard the number 59. He's had a terrific season here in the Premier Cup Series. Currently 3rd in the overall standings, the first driver of the non-winners. You have a top point getter as far as non-winners goes. That 59 of Ryan Johnson, we've seen him struggle at Darlington 1 week ago. Certainly having a great run over there in that 5th spot, Todd. He's looking for 4th there around Matt Watkins off of turn 4.
Yeah, he is indeed trying to gather it back in here and try to get up to the 4th position of Matt Watkins. He's got about 10 car lengths before he actually catches up with him. But Derek Justice is all over the number 2 of Tom Sylvain. Sylvain right now has the lead, but here comes Justice. He peeks down to the bottom side in that number 31 machine. Now goes to the top. Sylvain blocking and defending his territory as he is in P1. He can do whatever he wants out there on the speedway. In the 31 of Derek Justice right now running in the 2nd spot, waiting for one of those to screw up. But Robert Balcom right now in the catbird seat in that number 18 machine.
Yeah, he's right there in the tire tracks. They're going to put 110, 2 to go. Popsicle 6 in the air. This time around as they hit turn number 3, the starter will put Popsicle 6 in the air when they come back off of turn number 4. Ken Tom Sylvain, the fastest car here tonight. He put it on the pole about an hour and a half ago. He is going to be 2 laps away here, Todd, from a checkered flag. Can he pick up his first win of the year? We'll have to find out. He's got the 31 all over his rear bumper off of turn 2.
A yellow flag going to fly as it looks like race is going to be over here as these guys coming down through, they're racing back to the flag. Sylvain has the lead, the 31 of Derek Justice trying to close the gap as they come out of corner number 4 down the front straightaway. Looks like Sylvain going to be able to pull off the victory here in that number 2 machine, barring anything that may happen here. 31 of Derek Justice, Robert Balcom, Matt Watkins, Ryan Johnson, Alex Davis, Craig Meyer, Ken Hansen, Martin Karts, Matt Lesniewski, and it looks like Steve Looney, Carson Krins. Those guys are your top 12. Looks like something may have happened aboard the number 22 of Gary Piccolo.
Looks like there was contact on the racetrack between the 121 of Steve Looney and the 22 of Gary Piccolo. That looks like what happened here. That's going to put this thing under the yellow flag here, Todd. The yellow and the white. So unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the green flag racing action, but it was certainly an interesting race here at the Darlington Raceway, Todd. As we've documented here, Darlington, it's a strange and very, very tricky track. It's certainly been a strange and tricky night here for us up here in DRTV, but this thing all settles out. Looks like for the first time in 2016, it's going to be Tom Sylvain. He's going to pull that Miller Genuine Draft forward in the victory lane, checkered flag in the air.
Yeah, checker flag in the air. Tom Sylvain going to be able to pull off the victory here in that number 2 machine. Derek Justice, Robert Balcom, that is your top 3. 4th was Matt Watkins, and Ryan Johnson rounds out your top 5. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, who has the replay that brought out our final yellow flag here at Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, guys, we knew it was going to be a tough one tonight. Darlington, it likes to eat cars. That's why she's called the Lady in Black. I don't know where that's going, but we're going to keep our eyes on the 22 and the 21. It's going to be Steve, Looney, and Gary. As they run down through the corner, Gary gets down on the apron a little bit, upsets his car. He makes an amazing save right there, but Looney didn't check up quite enough. As Gary's car gets straightened out, Steve's going to bump him in the back end a little bit. Doesn't look like there was anywhere else for him to go. We're going to let these two come to a sliding stop down on the inside wall as we're keeping our eyes on Looney as he spins that thing around and around and around. Gets a little bit dizzy in there, I'm sure. He did get across our finish line, though. How about that? But a little late. Tough break for those two guys. Cars look good, though. Back up to you.
Yeah, the cars certainly do look good there. Is, you know, those guys around in the wrong direction, Piccolo and Steve Looney, which unfortunately, Todd, for those two guys, they were having a great run, and then that's going to relegate them to outside the top 10 here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is going to relegate them outside the top 10, and that's a tough break for those machines there, the 22 and the 121. But a lot of good racing going on here at Darlington Raceway. I'm looking forward to catching up with some of these guys. Phil, is some of these guys in the top 3, so that way they can tell us a little bit about what the race was like here.
Yeah, as we move toward the DRTV post-race here, we'll see if we can't catch up with our top 3 finishers. Of course, it was Tom Sylvain taking down the race win with Derek Justice there. He'll finish up in the 2nd spot. And a great run tonight for our buddy aboard the number 18, that being Robert Balcom. Robert, buddy, it's Phil from DRTV. Do you have your ears on?
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Robert, that's a beautiful-looking paint scheme out there tonight. That Apple Collision Center, number 18. Bringing that home in the 3rd spot. It was certainly a trying night. Tell us about what it was like behind the wheel of that thing. It was certainly a strange night.
Oh, yeah, I just kind of rode the first probably 3/4 of it just to kind of keep out of damage there. And then right there at the end, you know, it was time to get up on the wheel. I took 4, and I had a run on there. I was trying to, but, you know, it's one of them deals where if you stick it in there, you might make contact, you might not. But I needed kind of a long green flag run to make the tires work. But great job to Tom. I mean, he kept it up front all night. This is definitely not one of my better tracks, but I'm glad he put the Apple Collision Center in top 3 and come out of here unscathed.
Well, Robert, the track looked like it had a tremendous amount of grip out there tonight. These guys are really able to lay the wood to it and really make some good lap times around here. But it is Darlington. As we all know, it's narrow, it's tricky to pass. How much of that narrow racetrack with the high speeds? Tell us how tough was it to pass out there tonight?
Oh, yeah, it's on new tires. I mean, it's almost to the point where you all but made contact. On a long run there, I was really good, and you could make your tires work, but even within, I mean, somebody a couple of 2 or 3 tenths off, I mean, it's just so hard to make pass without making contact. The corners are so tight, and I mean, everybody kind of drives it where I always like to roll out and back up the corner, and then you got the ones that's fired off in their nose, so you're kind of watching out the front windshield and then kind of watching in the mirror too to make sure you don't get hammered. So yeah, it's a great track. I mean, the track was awesome. I mean, I really liked it for Darlington at that. So yeah, it was a good race. Like I said, it was tough to pass. I mean, we definitely would have had to have a long run to make the tires work to see what could have done with them.
Well, Robert, once again, congratulations on a 3rd place run. Always good to see that Apple Collision Center's car up on the podium. As always here, I'll give you the microphone one more time. Give you a shout out to your friends, your family, as always, support your sponsors out there. So once again, the mic is all yours, bud.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of glad to finally get to finish. Last week we had a great run at the road course, and I guess you call it the alien. Got a hold of me with a few laps to go. But, yeah, definitely, first of all, DRL Network. I mean, you can't beat them, guys. If you're out there, you want to get into sim racing, you can't beat this competition. It's the best of the best. So, I mean, we finish in the top 5. You really accomplished something. But I want to give a shout out to Apple Collision Center, great sponsor. Do for me, Willie, Jess, all the guys who's watching broadcast. Of course, my wife and daughter, they cheer me on in the next room, so it's always kind of fun listening to them scream and holler. So I appreciate them.
Well, it looks like Phil, something just happened to Phil. It's good to see you up here in the top 3, Robert. Again, congratulations, finishing 3rd place here this evening. Um, and hopefully Phil will make his way back here. But I had to congratulate you too, Robert. Good run.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think one of my crew member dropped a beer. I think Phil went after it. So, but no, thanks. Appreciate all you guys do, man. You definitely make it worth running.
All right, Robert. I'll leave Phil to you. He's in your hands now, so I'll allow him to let you. You can let him drink or do whatever. So I'll leave him with you.
I appreciate it, buddy. Y'all have a good night.
You too. That was Robert Balcom finishing up in the 3rd position. I'm going to. I actually have caught up with the driver of the number 31 Baskin-Robbins sponsor machine, finishing up 2nd here tonight. The number 31 of Derek Justice, trying to figure out what happened here. We'll try this again. Derek Justice, I have with the 2nd place finisher here of tonight at Darlington Raceway. Derek, good run here tonight. Looked like you might have had something for Tom Salvain there towards the end of that race, but it looks like you just hung on to the 2nd position. If you had a few more laps, you think you would have gave Tom a little bit of a run for his money?
I just Tom had made just a slightest mistakes to actually get a run of him because the damage from the rear of the car from earlier. But either that is just a bad pit strategy, as in taking 2 tires with Tom there. If I would have taken 4, I think I would have had a better shot. But Tom was consistent, and that's what you need to be when you race at Darlington.
Well, you're one of the few guys out there on the speedway here tonight, Derek, that could use that high line to their advantage, and it looked like you made quite a few passes up there, and you made it stick. Is that something that came along that you just found there, or were you practicing those type of passes?
Not really. I found, but I knew everybody was trying to. The bottom is supposed to be at Darlington, and when you have a train full of cars on the bottom, people tend to check up. So I decided to use the high line as an advantage, and then most of the time it worked out, and sometimes it didn't. So.
Well, Derek, I know a 2nd place finish here tonight, going to lengthen out your points lead here in the Premier Cup Series, and you've already punched your ticket into this path to Premier Cup Scramble here. I know you're looking forward to that up and coming.
Yeah, just can't wait till next next broadcast, which I don't know when you're all broadcasting, but can't wait till Bristol. I think is the next one on the schedule. That'll be fun. So it's some short track racing, so it'll be fun.
Well, I'll tell you, and just like I'll tell everybody out there in DRTV that's watching out there in YouTube land or who'll watch this video, DRLnetwork.com. Our schedule is all completely posted up there now. Phil worked really hard to get that schedule put together, so everybody will know the broadcasts now that are up and coming for these special events. But Derek, I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours. Thank whoever you'd like to thank here this evening, whoever got you out here.
Of course, first and foremost is the DRTV crew to spend their time putting these races on and enjoy what you're doing, broadcasting these races. Of course, I want to announce that the Sim Racing Association, SRA, it's a very good thing going for the NR 2003 community, and it's a great thing happen. And of course, I want to thank my home league, Boys and Pedals, for joining on board with the SRA with a lot of good stuff happening. So I want to thank everybody for the community to stick together and good things to come.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of things, good things to come in that Sim Racing Association SRA, as you're talking about there, Derek. I know there's another race going on here after the completion of this, and I'm glad that everybody's a part of that Sim Racing Association. But Derek, good job on your second place finish here tonight. I know you're looking forward to trying to win back-to-back titles here in this DRTV Premier Cup Series, and I'm going to wish you good luck to that.
Thanks, Todd.
Well, I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who is caught up with our race winner here, first-time race winner, the number 2 of Tom Salvain.
Yeah, most definitely made my way down here to Victory Lane. One heck of a race, Tom. I mean, what can you say about all that? That was a lot of action out there tonight.
Oh yeah, man! I got to tell you, what a run there for our team tonight. Boys had great stops all night and put us in position when we really needed to be there. And just want to say sorry to Martin. I know it was quite the move I put on him in turn 3, and I don't know if he's expected it or not, but I definitely didn't mean to have him go up into the wall there. He was plenty fast all night, and I hope he doesn't hold it against me.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will work it out together. Drivers usually do out here in this community. It's a pretty good community about that kind of stuff. But I will tell you, you had the car to beat tonight. You were the fastest one getting around that track multiple times throughout the evening. That number 2 Miller just looked good out there tonight, man. I don't know. Was it just the pits, or did you just find your rhythm and just be consistent? Is that what it's about?
The track had a lot of grip. I realized that early on in practice that I knew exactly how hard I could go and how long I could go with that hard 4. So that was something I used to my advantage throughout the race. And yeah, just made the right adjustments in practice, and the boys got her dialed in real good.
Nice. Well, great work today, man. Congratulations once again on the win here at Darlington. This is a tough track. That's why they call her the Lady in Black. Hats off to you and your entire crew for putting on one heck of a show, one heck of a race tonight. Again, congratulations. We're going to give the mic to you. The floor is all yours, buddy. Go ahead and congratulate whoever you got here live on DRTV.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to TDR and the whole crew, the DRL broadcast crew. You guys do a great job. TDR puts on a great show. I encourage anyone out there who's watching to come give this league a try, because it's a lot of fun. Great quality product, great racing, great group of guys too. So that's all I really have to say. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you have it, Tom. We'll let you get back to your crew and your family and celebrate this big win here in Darlington. Guys, back up to you. That's your race winner for today, Tom Sullivan.
Yeah, Tom Sylvain, a great run there, finding his way into victory lane for the first time in 2016 here. Todd, it's certainly been a wild and wacky night on DRTV. I know we had the power failure early on. I just had one of my own here during our interview with Robert Balkum. I lost power as well. Nasty thunderstorms to the northeast, as you certainly know. And Rich has had them down there in Florida as well. So it's been a strange and wacky night here, Todd, but I think a job well done for everybody in hand. And a great race on the racetrack. Darlington is certainly a tricky place to get around, and Tom Sylvain, he showed the way tonight and had a really good run.
Yeah, definitely a fantastic race here at the Darlington Raceway. Fantastic showing. Tom Salvain strong all evening long here and being able to pull off his first victory here in the DRTV Premier Cup Series. It's going to be interesting to see over the closing weeks, and I know there's quite a bit of time before we actually return here to the DRTV Premier Cup Series broadcast scheduling. But it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. I know I'm going to be here for a couple of races to watch those out before the scramble, just to see who makes their way in, Phil. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be certainly interesting indeed. As this group, they head to the Bristol Motor Speedway, in 1 week for the half mile there, and we all know how Bristol plays out. So there's going to be a lot to watch there. And our next show in this series, Todd, we're going to have on the airwaves, I believe, here September the 10th to salute the heroes 140 at the Richmond International Raceway. So we're going to have a jam-packed schedule here through the rest of the month of August and into the month of September. We've got the Brian Knighting Memorial. That's coming up here on Thursday, August the 25th on a Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. the start time for the guys at Extreme Motorsports, and an awesome event there. And then 2 nights after that, we head over to SMO for their 12th anniversary race. So a lot of great things coming up for us. DRLnetwork.com is the home of DRTV. So until next time, for my broadcast partner, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton, TV time, Rich Patton down in the DRTV control booth. My name is Phil LeCasse. I'd like to thank you for watching us here tonight with the latest installment of DRTV on the DRL Network. Good night.